And we are live. It's been a long time since I've been live on YouTube. Long time since I've done a live on YouTube. But here we are. Now, this isn't a kick a fighter while he's down case because Joshua won, although there has been a lot of critics coming after him. A whole lot of critics coming after him. But people like to say I'm an AJ hater because I speak how I feel, I tell the truth. And hating has nothing to do with it. Because when I did the weigh-in video, if you listen to the excitement in my voice when I saw AJ coming in at 255, being big like I've been saying for years now, since the Ruiz rematch, since I saw how he lacked power in that fight, I have been wanting to see AJ big. I was excited. But like a kid disappointed at Christmas, I opened a package that was wrapped with Legos, and instead of having Legos in the box, I found clothes. I was disappointed by what I saw. The package looked good, but the performance was not there. The AJ that I thought we were going to get did not show up. The confidence that I thought he would have, was lacking. It just wasn't there. What's going on, Prodigal? Long time no talk to. Let me do this real fast. I'm going to drop this link in the chat. You can hop on if you want to. But yeah, I'm just going over my thoughts on how I feel about this. Now, unlike some people, I actually rate Jermaine Franklin. I've been saying for a very long time, I think he's a good fighter. Not one time, because I've had a lot of people in my comment sections say, oh, you're just saying this because AJ didn't get the knockout. Not one time did I state or ever stated AJ needed to knock Franklin out. Not one time did I state that even him big, I believe he would knock Franklin out. In fact, I've been on the record saying that don't be surprised if Franklin could beat AJ or made AJ look bad, because I rate Franklin. I believe he beat Dillian White. I believe he was robbed against Dillian White, and that should have been a fight he won. And because he didn't get the win that he deserved, people degraded him as if he wasn't a good fighter. Now, with that being said, when I looked at AJ, I saw a guy who came in big. Derek James said this was AJ at his most fit, physical best. That's why he's 255. Not that they aimed for it, but that's just what he grew to because that's the best he was in. That was the best shape he was at. So with that being said, I expected a lot. And I saw a lot, but I didn't see him perform to what he had. So what I mean by that is, come round one, when AJ landed just a jab, I watched Franklin's head get snapped back hard off jabs. That told me that the power is there. Later in the fight, when AJ actually let his hands go, what was it, the 7th, 8th round, when he started connecting with Franklin, he looked fast. He looked very fast. So where people were saying he looked slow, he looked stiff, he looked lethargic, I guess, where he looked like he couldn't get off. To me, that wasn't the case because when he finally committed and let his hands go, you could see the speed. In my opinion, in that round that he let his hands go, his hand speed, his combinations looked faster than I've ever seen him throw. His movement looked great. However, that happened one time, maybe twice in a 12-round fight. All I saw was an AJ that had a bunch of fear. He was terrified to get in the pocket. He was hesitating to throw his shots. He didn't put anything into his straights, his power punch. It was really like watching a declawed lion. It's a lion. It's got the attributes of a lion, but it's been domesticated so much that this lion no longer knows it's a lion. It's like a kitten. It doesn't have that ferocity. It's not fierce anymore. It's lacking. And that's the issue. If AJ cannot get his killer instinct back, if he's hesitating, if he's scared to let shots go, yes, he could get away with it against a guy like Franklin. I mean, my thing is this. Every time Franklin got close, AJ would just hold. That's all he did. Now, granted, Emmanuel Stewart, you had Lennox Lewis, Klitschko, Tyson Fury, before the new Fury, jab, jab, grab style. However, they fought. They jab, jab, grab. I literally watched AJ go grab, 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 grab. Every time Franklin got close. And I don't see how he can be successful with no confidence, with second guessing himself against bigger men than Franklin. You have a guy in Franklin, what I was alluding to, that I kind of went on a tangent from, that's not known to be a power puncher. Before this fight, I believe he had 22 fights, 21 wins, 1 loss. Out of those 22 fights, he only had 14 knockouts. The guys that he knocked out were lesser opposition, but when he got in there with a B-level fighter at best, and Jerry Forrest, he couldn't stop him. So Franklin, while he's very technically skilled, has never really showed a lot of power. And my thing is, if AJ is in there against a guy like Franklin, who doesn't have devastating power, who's not known to one-shot people, and he's scared, he's hesitant, AJ could be the first fighter in the history of boxing to die of a panic attack with Wilder standing across from him. Like, what the fuck is AJ going to be thinking if he's got Wilder in front of him? If he's got a Joe Joyce in front of him? If he's got a Tyson Fury in front of him? Guys who are bigger than him. Wilder not bigger in weight, but in stature. What is he going to be thinking when he's got these killers in front of him that he's not going to be able to hold on to, that he's not going to be able to clinch, that he's not going to be able to fight from range? Try fighting Deontay Wilder from range and being scared to fight him at mid or in the pocket. Good fucking luck with that. Hesitate when he lets that right hand go. Good luck with that. Try fighting the 6'9" Tyson Fury from range and see how well that serves you. He's going to get outboxed all night. He's got to get in the pocket. And if he's too scared to let his hands go in the pocket, how does he beat a Tyson Fury? Stand there with Joe Joyce. Stand there with Joe Joyce in mid-range. And let's see how well this goes. A guy with a granite chin that never tires, that's going to outweigh you, that's going to be stronger than you. I mean, 255 was big for AJ. He looked good. Joe Joyce is going to be at least 270 or bigger and a hell of a lot stronger. And he's not going to be scared to get hit. Joe Joyce will invite those punches to his face so he can get off. There's no fear. And that's the thing about it. I like AJ. When I look at AJ, it disappointed me. That's why I used the picture that I used for this thumbnail. I was disappointed because I see a guy and I know how good he is. And people can say I hate all day, and it's nothing to do with hate. It's that I want, from me being critical, I want AJ to just wake up and realize who the fuck he is and what the fuck he is and really believe in himself, which he doesn't. He's got a bunch of yes men around him, obviously, that don't tell him the truth. Granted, now I thought Derek James did a great job. On the few times that the camera panned there, you could hear what Derek James was saying in the corner, great instruction. In fact, I want to say in the 8th and 9th round, in between rounds, they panned over to him and Derek James was yelling at AJ about the grabbing. He told him, stop clinching so much. Stop grabbing him. Stop holding him. He was yelling at him. So this isn't a Derek James failure because he was giving him the right instructions. It was an AJ scared to engage. And that's what I look at. That's what disappoints me most. Prodigal, I'm going to get to your comments in just a second. I just want to get off this tangent, or get the tangent off, and then I'll come to it. The thing that disappoints me the most about what I watched is, like I said, in the first round, I saw soft jabs snapping Franklin's head back, snapping. I saw a power from AJ that we haven't seen since he fought Andy Ruiz the first time. Granted, you got to keep in mind, AJ hasn't had a knockout since Pulev, and I believe that was December of 2020. But when I saw him land his first jab on Franklin, and every jab after that, and Franklin's head was just popping back, I was like, there's the power. There's the power that's been lacking. There's the power that's been missing. He's got it back, but he was too scared to use it. And like I said, later in the fight, 7th, 8th round, when he actually let his hands go, when he hurt Franklin, and Franklin was stumbling around, bouncing off the ropes, I saw the speed that AJ really never had. And his endurance was great. Granted, he fought at his own pace, but he never got tired. He was 255 and never got tired. From round 1 to 12, he looked the same. He never got tired. Granted, it was a very negative fight. It wasn't a fast-paced fight, but the added weight did not tire him, which is what I've been saying all along. The muscles, until you become obese with muscles, is not going to make you tired. It's not going to make you exhausted. It's the way that you train. And Derrick James obviously trained him well because he was never tired in 12 rounds. And it's like I see all these things. I see the power's there. I see the speed is actually there. His hands in this fight, in my opinion, when he let him go, was the fastest I've ever seen him throw combinations. I've never seen his hands look as fast as they did in this fight. And he only did it once. Maybe twice. Maybe twice he let his hands go throughout the 12 rounds. But I saw the hand speed faster than I've ever seen it. I saw the power on the jab, but then he went commit with the straight. I saw a guy who didn't get tired. And it's like, I see all these great attributes that on paper, he's like Tony Romo. On paper, this should be the greatest dude to do it, on paper. But in reality, it doesn't translate. It just doesn't translate over for whatever reason. On paper, he should be this. But in reality, when he gets in there, he's not. And there's only so much you can do with somebody who doesn't believe in themselves. And I don't know what needs to be done to get him to realize who he is, to get him to realize that he's got the power, that he can get them guys out of there, to help him realize that you do have a good chin. I don't know what can be done because he's always shown shades of being scared to get hit. From Dillian White to Klitschko to Pulev to Andy Ruiz, etc. He's always shown shades that he does not like people letting their hands go on him because he hides in his shell and he doesn't look for a counterpunch. And since he got beat, knocked out, it's like that's been amplified. And now we see him after 2 losses to Usyk, and it being amplified is even greater now. Like, it's a shame because he has so much talent. You could tell the dude is good. Now, we could go with the negatives of the fight. His foot placement didn't look that good. His body movement didn't look that good. But overall, you can see the talent is there. This dude's a 2-time champion, unified 3 belts. He's not trash. He's not garbage. He's good. Let me get to the comment sections before I keep talking forever. All right. He was heavier in this fight than when he fought Klitschko. Yeah, I think he was 252 against Klitschko. He was 255 in this fight. Do you think it's more of being stuck in between styles? No, I don't think it's got anything to do with styles. I think he's second guessing himself. He's not exploding. He's not going. He's like, you can see he's worried about what's going to come back. I still think he beats Daniel Dubois. Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I believe he beats Triple D. But what I will say is, I don't know what happens to AJ if Triple D catches him. Because again, if he's looking scared against a guy like Franklin, who's really no threat at knocking him out, what happens if a dude like Daniel Dubois stings him? Does he go so negative that he loses? I don't know. What I do know is he needs to stay away from Tyson Fury. He needs at least another fight. If Eddie Hearn throws him in there with Tyson Fury, Eddie Hearn is not. He is not a supporter. He is not a friend. He's trying to cash out because AJ is just, he's not ready. As they said, this was a confidence-building fight, and you can see that he lacked the confidence. You need to get him in there with another fighter. You need to rebuild him. If he's going to fight 3 times in this year and summer's where you're doing it next, then keep him with Dillian White. But even Dillian White scares me because we know AJ throws a very good uppercut, but if he's not going to be aggressive, he's not going to let his hands go, Dillian will. So even though I believe AJ should beat Dillian White easily, especially the Dillian White that we've seen knocked out several times, Now, I worry. I worry that if he's not aggressive, guys like Dillian White, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Joe Joyce, even who's making a comeback now, and he's no longer on the Sauce, Cheeseburger, Gerald Miller, these types of guys that are overly aggressive, because Tyson Fury has turned overly aggressive, they worry me with AJ. I'm really worried for him. Let me get back to the comments. AJ is probably the third best UK fighter at this point. Going to say Fury, Joyce, AJ, Dubois. I cannot argue with this assessment. He also stunned Franklin kind of with an illegal shot. Yeah, he did quite a few illegal shots, and I'll get into how dirty he was in this fight. The man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, Red Glove? Hey, to all those watching me, listening, subscribe to Red Glove Militant. Very good channel. Very funny content, and the dude can edit spectacularly. So check him out. Let me see. Is he hesitant to trade in the pocket, do you think? Yes, he's very hesitant to trade in the pocket. And you saw it. Like, he did not want to engage, especially early, with Jermaine Franklin. He did not want to engage. And again, when I saw him throwing them straights, it's like he's pulling back. He's not following through. It's like before it's connecting, he's already pulling back. And that's why the damage didn't translate. Appreciate it, C. Follow the channel if you haven't yet. What's going on? The queen is in the building. Lisa, she loves AJ. Let me see. Joyce doesn't have the accomplishments or the quality wins to put him ahead of Joshua. Yeah, but I don't think, Virtuoso, that's what he's saying. What he's saying is, to the eye test, where he believes they fall in line, Joyce and Fury would beat him. He believes that they are the better fighters at the moment. That if AJ was to get in there with them, he would lose off the assessment that he just saw. I believe that's what he's saying. If you're going to go by accolades, night and day, AJ has the most accolades outside of Tyson Fury. He's head and toe above all the rest. Even Deontay Wilder, he's way above them on accolades. But if you're going to, and I'm going to speak for Prodigal right here, if you're going to ask me right now, do I believe AJ could beat Joyce or Fury? I would say he needs to stay the fuck away from them. He needs to stay away from them until he has at least another tune-up and he could be more confident. Because that's all he's lacking, in my opinion. It's not talent. It's not ability. It's not skills. He's got all that. It's the confidence. Let me keep going through. Lisa, I see you in the background. I'll let you on the panel in just 1 second. Let me finish these comments. I don't get it. AJ destroyed White. I saw no hesitation. What do you mean he destroyed White? You talking about in the first fight? AJ damn near got knocked out in the first fight. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all talking to each other. Tyson Fury helped by not continuing the negotiations. Remember the deadlines? Not really. Not really, Virtuoso. So if we're going to go by the deadlines, the initial fight with AJ in December, you got to understand, Eddie Hearn has been on record saying he can make mega fights in 2 weeks. That's more than enough time. So I can't really agree with that. What's going on, Big Say? So hop on the panel. AJ is overrated. Now, see, with everything I said leading up to this point, and if you haven't heard it, you'll have to go back and listen. I disagree with this. You don't become a 2-time unified champion. You don't win 3 out of the 4 major belts if you're overrated. You just don't. You could argue that on an all-time great list, he's overrated. On an all-time British heavyweight champion list, he's overrated. You could argue that. But in this current era, I disagree with you, Perez. You cannot say he's overrated because he's done too much to be overrated. AJ, I see you in the background. Let me get through these comments and I'll let y'all on. Frank Warren said in an interview today, Dubois won't step aside. So it looks like Usyk versus Dubois. Yeah, he already said that. And the WBA was doing everything they could to get Wilder to fight Usyk, which I would love to see. I would much rather see Wilder Usyk because I believe Wilder can beat Usyk. My personal opinion, I've always said that way before Usyk fought AJ. That's not swaying my opinion. Even if AJ would have beat Usyk and it would have been different outcomes, I would have believed that Wilder could beat Usyk. And being that we've seen what we've seen, I still believe Wilder could beat Usyk. Styles make fights. But yeah, I don't really like the Dubois fight. That should be an easy fight for Usyk because Dubois is just not that good. All right, almost done with the comments, and I'll let you alone. So we're not factoring his experience at world level. Joyce don't want to go to Matchroom, so it's a mute point. Joyce would fight Anthony Joshua. The payday would be so great, he would make that fight. Andrew Ruiz took his soul. It's a strong possibility. What's up with Wilder possibly becoming mandatory for WBA? It's a great fight. It's a lot of money in it. Well, you got to understand that Daniel Dubois has been injured. Frank Warren, in the interview that Butler was talking about, Frank Warren said they already sent in the medical record saying that Dubois is good to go, but he's been injured. So they needed somebody to fight. I think they were trying to get Piccoli to fight Usyk in the meantime. However, Wilder out of nowhere jumped him. He leapfrogged him. And we know Wilder just went into training camp too, so we don't know who he's fighting. All right, last comment. All right, they're talking to each other. Let me let Lisa. AJ on. Bow.
Hey, what's going on?
What up, Tony? Long time no see, man. What you been up to?
Long time.
Yeah, what's good? I have to respectfully disagree with you, Tony.
I knew you would.
Why? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about White did not. Yeah, he took a nasty left, but he did not almost get knocked out. His legs stiffened, but he just kept going. So I don't, but that's just from what I saw. But
he got rocked very bad when he fought White in that first
fight.
He
got rocked. Yeah, but who don't get rocked in fights?
I got you, but that was a Dillian White who was much less experienced than AJ at the time, and he got hurt bad. And I'm not saying AJ has it. What I'm saying is when I brought that up, I was saying I believe AJ has a chin. I believe he has a good chin. The point that I was making is AJ got in trouble. AJ got in trouble in that fight because when White caught him with combinations and started letting his hands go, AJ shelled up, and that's how he ended up getting hurt. He's always had a bad tendency, way back, where it looks like he does not like being hit. He does not like it. And I'm not saying nobody likes to be hit. But that doesn't mean when you get hit, you're uncomfortable. And there's been foreshadowing moments from the past that have showed you he doesn't like being hit. And since the losses, it's really reflecting more and more. And that's what I'm talking about. He's got all the attributes. It's just, it looks like a lack of confidence.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Tony, I caught your vid. I thought that I respectfully disagree with you as well. I thought the Kofi Fabio horrible stoppage. I'm sorry. Like it could have went on. It could have went on. I mean, like Coffee. He shelled up, but he wasn't really getting hit clean, and he was still, he moving this and that. And then like the ref just jumps in before, like, wait a minute.
No. It was a great stoppage. You know why it was a great stoppage?
Why?
Because that fight was so bad. I got up, walked out to some trash outside, came back inside. I watched what little bit was left of the fight from me doing it, and I damn near got knocked out from watching it from boredom. I was getting knocked out from that fight. So the minute the ref stopped it, I was excited. I was like, good job.
Okay, got you. All right. So it was a shit fight. That's another word. So he was happy.
Yo, Coffee looked like he was there for a paycheck. He was doing absolutely nothing. It was horrible.
Definitely. Okay, that's what you mean.
Yes, that's why I agree with it, because Coffee wasn't going to win. He wasn't trying to win. No. The fight was fucking horrible. I just wanted it to be over.
I mean, like, honestly, if that hadn't happened, Fabio was going to get him at some point, I thought anyway. I was picking him to win. So, But these are big boys. Let them handle it themselves. I just can't stand it when the refs jump in and save them. You know what I mean? And he Woodley wasn't under any trouble. So shit,
Yeah. I mean, it was just ridiculous because he was actually avoiding a lot of stuff. Coffee. He was slipping stuff.
Yes, UK refs for you.
Yeah, it's like
he was avoiding, but he wasn't. There was no offense.
Yeah, he wasn't doing nothing. I agree.
Yeah.
You know what?
The worst was last week when what's his name? He just interjected in that fight too much.
Kenny.
Kenny Bellis. Yeah,
He
that was horrible.
he always does that. He makes the fights about him. That's what he
Oh,
does.
Well, look at the look
yeah,
on his face. I mean, he's the spooky Kenny. That's what I always call him.
yeah, that was horrible.
Um, what's going on, Virtuoso?
What's up, Tony? It's been a while, man, since we talked, man. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Lisa? What's up, AJ?
What up,
What's
Richard?
So
going on?
I got a confession to make, man. So last Saturday, I was watching a fight. Listen, I was expecting AJ to knock out Franklin, right? That's what I wanted to see, and I did. Admittedly, I did find myself at one point in the fight kind of falling asleep because the fight, to be honest with you, it did take on a Ruiz versus Joshua 2 kind of feel to it. AJ was playing it safe, but the only bright side I look at it as, AJ, likes the roughhouse on the inside. And if somebody's going to try to come in his wheelhouse or get in his face, he's going to grab him. And I've kind of uh, I've kind of wrestled with the fact that AJ is just never going to add more nuances to his repertoire. That these things are going to come slowly; they're not going to happen overnight. And with what he has, that power, it carried him a long way, man. It got him to 3 world titles and repeat, world champion, you know. But he's got to commit to that right hand, that power that he has. He knows it. And I just think with Franklin, he was playing it safe. I have to admit, he was. But the only bright side I look at it, though, is at least AJ was well conditioned in that fight, better than I've seen him in recent memory.
He was. He was in great condition. And this showed what I've been telling a lot of people all along who have argued with me through the years. Weight does not make you tired. Being bigger with muscle does not sap your energy. It's the way you train. That's all it is. Some of the best endurances in the history of boxing have all been guys who are shredded to the bone. Whether you want to go to the lighter
Mhm.
weight classes like Floyd Mayweather, whether you want to go to the middleweights, Roy Jones Jr., whether you want to go to the cruiserweights, and Vander Holyfield, and the list just goes on and on and on and on and on about guys who look like statues, bodybuilders that just don't tire. So again, I'm glad that he showed that him being 255 is not going to make him tired. He's not going to make him exhausted. The thing
Mm.
is this fight to me was worse than the Ruiz rematch. At least in the Ruiz rematch, he was letting his hands go, and he was hitting
Mm.
Andy Ruiz at will. And this fight, he was just clinching nonstop and getting to the clinching and the roughhouse. And he did so much illegal stuff I've never seen him do before, and it was blatantly obvious, and the ref didn't call him out
Mm.
once. There were several times where he was holding Jermaine with one glove behind his head and trying to hit him with the uppercut with the free hand.
Mhm.
That's illegal. There were
Mm.
several times where he did the Tyson Fury thing where he was putting them in headlocks. That's illegal. There were several times to where neither man was engaging. Franklin would just get close and he kept holding them. That's illegal. There was a time when the referee was stepping in between them, separating them. AJ hit Franklin over the top of the referee's hands, and the ref didn't even say anything. That's illegal. Like, there was so many things that AJ did in this fight that were illegal, and the ref had the audacity to warn Franklin for pushing AJ off of him.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, I don't know, man. It just
I'm not over. What I'm not gonna do is overanalyze this. Look, I thought it was a pretty decent fight. It wasn't. I looked for the knockout. That's what I predicted, but it didn't happen. What am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
but my
Mm.
What
thing
am
is
I
this
gonna
though.
do? Every time this man comes into the ring, it's always something with the
My
fans.
thing
And me personally, I think he should just do what he needs to do. Listen to his training. The hell with what everybody else is saying.
But he wasn't. He wasn't listening to his trainer. If you heard him, Derek James was yelling at him, telling him to stop clinching so
Hmm.
much. He was telling him to
Yeah,
start
yeah, I
trying to
heard
put him in the
that.
pocket.
Yeah,
He was telling
yeah.
him how to let his hands go, combinations to throw, uppercuts to set up, and he didn't do anything that his
Hmm.
corner said.
Right. His timing was off to me a little bit, but I could, I'm learning by looking. I think the later rounds he really started to maul Franklin. I really think Franklin is a really good boxer. I do.
Franklin is extremely good, and
Yeah.
that's why. Like, this is what's so funny to me because I've gotten so much hate. I'm an AJ hater, blah blah blah. I'm always critical over AJ. There's a yellow jacket in my garage that just landed right in front of me. Anyways,
Oh
but
God.
I never said I believe AJ can knock out Franklin. I don't think AJ prior to losing to Ruiz can knock out Franklin because I rate Franklin. I've been rating Franklin for 4 years now, at least 4 years, before anybody knew who he was, before he fought Dillian White. In fact, whenever I did my prediction video for the Dillian White fight, I was like, I don't really want to pick a winner because I like Jermaine Franklin because I've been watching him for so long as a prospect, well, before he was a prospect coming up. And, you know, I knew how good he was. That's why I never predicted a knockout. That's why I don't care that AJ didn't get the knockout. What concerns me is the way he fought. What concerns me is seeing how scared he was to trade in the pocket. What concerns me is the hesitation to let his shots go. Let me hit this comment real fast. Does bodybuilding hinder quick, or it should be fast twitch muscles? AJ no longer explosive, and that was his biggest assess on why he was good compared to stiff robotic heavyweights. No, I disagree. Fast twitch, normally people who train for fast twitch are going to be more lean, more muscular looking. Look at your track runners, look at your sprinters, look at your, I mean, even though they're skinny, you can look at your people that do long jumps. You can look at your NFL running backs, your wide receivers. They're normally more lanky, skinnier, but they're all very muscular. Fast twitch is going to make you look more leaner, more muscular. And it's going to make you more explosive. I don't think bodybuilding slows you down until you become obese. See, what people forget is AJ is 6'6", okay? 6'6". 255 and 6'6" is not that big. He looks big on camera, but if you were to put AJ around like NFL players, not saying that that's the ideal body for boxing. I'm just saying a stature of frame comparison. If you were to put him around NFL players, like middle linebackers, linemen, he would look teeny. He would look extremely small next to guys his own height. So, no, I don't think 255 is too big. Yes, muscles can slow you down if you get obese with muscle. It's no different than being obese with fat. It will hinder your mobility. It will make you tired because you're carrying too much weight for your frame. But at 255, 6'6", I don't believe 255 is too big at all. Nowhere even close to it. And as far as endurance goes, Joe Joyce is 6'6" and weighs 270 plus pounds. And he never gets tired. So that's a guy same height as AJ, much bigger than AJ. So that's what I'm saying. It's the way that you train. Now, if AJ was 6'6", 290 with muscle, then we would start talking about, yeah, he's too big. He needs to lose that muscle, but he's not. He's not that big.
Yeah, because AJ, this is the heaviest I've seen him reportedly, and it looks like he's well acclimated in that weight. Because it seems like he spent time training at that particular weight, and then when it get near like with the weigh-in date, he would probably shed the pounds.
No, I agree with you. I think the 250s is his ideal weight. I think that's where he's the strongest. I think that's where he's, like I said, when he let his hands go, the few times he did, he was fast. He looked extremely quick with his hands. So I don't think speed's the issue. I don't think the power is the issue. Again, I have to come back full circle to where I began. It's his confidence. He just, for whatever reason, these losses have taken something away from him.
Yeah, I really don't rate. I really don't read that much into the psychoanalysis of that. It's like if you able to get your punches off and able to outbox your opponent, albeit the clinching was a little bit too much, then yeah, like, you know, feel confident, you know, get that win. And Jermaine Franklin, you know what, he's a good fighter. You know, it's just that I think he's luck. I think I'll tell you this though. AJ is kind of fortunate that Franklin doesn't have power and isn't that much of a pressure fighter because he's more of a boxer.
I agree. But I'm looking at his peers, right? His peers, in my opinion, are all much bigger than Jermaine Franklin. If we want to go to the next guy up in the rankings, in my opinion, that fights like Usyk, that fights like Jermaine Franklin, you're gonna have to look at Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin is fucking big. He's 6'6", 250 plus pounds, depending on what he weighs in at the night, and he moves just like Usyk, and he moves just like Tyson Fury used to, and he moves with fast hands just like Jermaine Franklin. AJ's not going to be able to be negative like that against a guy like that. If you look at Gerald Miller, I see you, Jimmy. If you look at Gerald Miller's going to come at him full force, not stop letting his hands go. If you look at Tyson Fury, he's now a pressure fighter. He's going to come right at him. If you look at Deontay Wilder, who Pablo asked me about, he's going to come right at him. And if he hesitates, that's the thing. When you're fighting a guy like Jermaine Franklin, who's a very good fighter, but he's not elite. He's never had that win to push him over the top to elite. He doesn't have that opposition, that competition level to really set him up there, right? When you got a guy like Jermaine Franklin, you can be negative, you can hesitate because he hasn't had the experience to exploit that. But when you get in there with guys who are elite, now those little milliseconds of hesitation starts adding up. And you start getting hit by something you normally wouldn't if you had confidence. So that's what I look at.
Yeah, I don't think. Go ahead.
Well, Jimmy's there. I don't hear him talking.
Yeah, bro. No, just listening, bro. It's good you're doing the live. With me, bro, I've got like mixed views. I think there's so many like. Have you ever seen like one of the circuses where like the clowns got like 100 plates spinning at once? I think there's a lot of different sort of factors here. I think it's like Eddie Hearn was saying, Joshua has changed trainers 3 times in his last 3 fights. He's coming off of 2 losses. He's lost 3 out of his last 5. I think mentally, he was probably in a pretty poor place. But mathematically, on the cards, he won probably 10 out of the 12 rounds. I heard some fans giving him even 11.
That game 9.
It was a near shutout. Yep, it was a near shutout. And every time Joshua let his hands go, I had a feeling that he could stop Franklin because, especially in the later rounds, as soon as Joshua landed a clean left hook, Franklin's knees buckled. He looked scared, and I felt like it was there. But again, bro,
by the way,
opponent.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Jimmy, but I just want to give a credit to Jermaine Franklin's chin. It did held up. Amazing how this guy did not wobble even once.
Very much. Very much.
You know?
Yeah. See, for me, I thought this was the wrong comeback opponent for various reasons. This is a guy that is very slick and awkward at close range, good gas tank, and has a good boxing brain. A lot of people thought he beat Dylan White. In the amateurs, he was a 2-time world champion. And a lot of people consider him an undefeated fighter who's kind of young and kind of, at his peak. So this isn't a 40-year-old, former knockout victim / sparring partner in Hellenius. I'd actually say Otto Wallin, Tyson Fury looked worse for me against Otto Wallin. After that fight, everyone was saying Fury's done, he's finished. Right after a Wilder for Eric Molina, people were saying that Joshua versus Wilder was a mismatch. As soon as Joshua lands one left hook on Wilder may be going to the morgue. I feel like fans sometimes are a little overreactionary.
They are.
Like I said, Wilder versus Molina.
Yeah, they are.
Twitter at that time. Yeah, Twitter was flooded of comments saying Wilder's got no business being in the same room as Joshua, let alone getting in the ring with him. As soon as Joshua lands a clean left hook, Wilder is completely fucked. Tyson Fury after Otto Wallin, people were saying that Fury is a hype job, that Wilder and Joshua are going to kill him. So I feel like, I kind of step back and think, you know what? Maybe it was an off night, But even on an off night, he still won the fight. I think Joshua probably needs a fight that will light a fire under him. I think someone like a Big Baby Miller, who talks a lot of shit, someone like a Dylan White, who's got a bad rivalry, someone like a even like a Wilder. Right now, I don't think you should fight Tyson Fury because I think Tyson Fury's got unfinished business with Alexander Usyk. So those dudes need to settle up their business. And I think Joshua should focus on guys like Otto Wallin, a Dylan White, and then at the end of the year, in the winter, face a Joe Joyce, or like an Andy Ruiz trilogy, or a Deontay Wilder, I think.
You know what, Jimmy? Thank you for saying that because I'm at the point now where I've been on in the YTBC for a long time, listening to stuff, and I was just watching some old fights, and I just enjoyed them, like without all that yin yang in your ear. Because when you read all these articles, and then you see all the people on Twitter and YouTube, it's just like it just becomes like, do they have anything positive to say about anything
Yeah,
with
to
these
be honest,
fighters?
Lisa,
Yeah, with none of these
yes.
fighters. So go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, like, I'm right there with you because, like, last Sunday, I'm like, I was so out of it. I didn't even want to talk any boxing because, like, I've already done like
Hmm.
so many live streams and like, and you're just exhausted. You just want to watch the fights, but there's not that
Hmm.
much fights happening because all the politicking going on in the sport, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's created this fucking outrage culture where we got to talk about, oh, this fight's not happening because this motherfucker or this motherfucker scared that this and the other, and
hmm,
it's like
yeah,
it gets to a point where it's like, yo, I don't want to do this shit no more. This shit is fucking whack.
yeah,
I want
yeah,
boxing to be boxing, man. You know?
yeah, yeah. We can't. I'm not putting no cotton on these boxers. They should. If you in that same division, you all should be fighting. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't have a strap or whatever,
Right.
it's just like it. They take the wind out of your sails. It's just not
Yeah.
even fun no
Like
more. Just
like
I'm
the
not
other
saying
day,
you, Tony, but
yeah.
it's just negative, man. It's just like can't talk about a fight. You get your ass in that ring and fight the person and do all the
Mm.
training.
Oh, we know Lisa. We know Lisa. I put up a poll. I'll fight AJ in a heartbeat. Give me that money.
Yeah, I
Give me that
know.
money.
But I'm just talking about just in general. I was just watching, you know what I mean? And I just enjoyed it just like that. I was like, it was just like without all the BS, you
Do
know?
you know what? Do you know what I'd say in AJ's defense right now? I'd say look at AJ the same way fans would look at Lennox Lewis, right? Right after Lennox Lewis was destroyed by Oliver McCall, it took him about 3 years before he got in the ring with McCall again. If you look at his fights after that, he was fighting complete cream puffs, and he looked like garbage in his 2, 3 fights after that. George Foreman, once Ali knocked him out, the dude left boxing for nearly a decade to recover mentally from the defeat. Larry Holmes, it took him a very long time, as well after the Tyson knockout, uh, to come back from that. Klitschko, it took him damn near what 3, 4 years for him to get the belt again. I think with Joshua, I think fans have to think like, look, this guy's on like a
Hmm.
rebuild tour right now.
Yeah.
He's not where he was, but I think he's young enough and talented enough to probably get to where he could be. But I think again, right now, I think Joshua just needs to focus on rebuilding. Forget Tyson Fury. That fight's always going to be here, and just take another fight like a not a Wally and a Dylan White, just to keep the momentum, gel with your trainer. It's your third trainer in your last 3 fights, so bro, you need more time with this dude. Um, yeah, I think that's what he needs to do.
Yeah,
Um,
see, Lennox did it the right way to me because he did it, you know, yeah. And see,
I agree.
Lennox wasn't like a big draw at that time, so he's trying to hold on to that Joshua, that star power. But when Lennox came back, he came back, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
avenged his losses, and plus Lennox
Mm.
is a really talented fighter.
best jab in boxing.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
don't care
that's
what
what
anybody
Lennox.
Yeah,
says. I don't care what
definitely
So,
one
anybody
of
says.
them.
I
yeah,
think
so
Definitely one of the
Lennox
best.
has the
Yeah.
best jab ever in boxing. Period. I think he is the best jabber to ever jab at least at heavyweight. Um, here's the
Oh
thing
yeah.
though, Jimmy. Here's the
Yeah.
thing though with Lennox.
yeah,
Lennox
Hmm.
never. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with adding wrinkles and getting better and adapting to a new style, right? But
yeah.
Hmm.
Lennox never stopped fighting the way he fought. Lennox never looked like he was scared. Lennox never looked like he hesitated. Lennox never looked like he lacked the confidence, regardless of the competition level. He
No,
always
no, no,
he
no.
no no no
No,
no
that's
After the
not
McCall,
true. At one point, he had
no.
that scared look. Nah. Mm-mm.
no. After the
Uh,
McCall,
the only
no, no,
time
bro.
the only
Seriously,
time Lennox was ever scared was at the tail end of his career when he was about to get his ass whooped by Vitaly and he decided to retire instead of have the rematch. That's the only time.
No, if you look at Lennox Lewis's
I
fight,
disagree.
The McCall fight, Lennox looked gun shy, and a lot of the American press actually wrote Lennox off because of that. Do you know what it is, bro?
Yeah,
I'm not even saying
I remember.
He had a bad showing in the fight where he lost. But in the rematch, what did he do to McCall when he got in there with him?
Yeah, but it took him 3 years, though, bro, to get back to McCall.
He destroyed him.
I understand it took 3 years before the rematch. What happened whenever he rematched Hasim Rahman?
But that's my point, though. If a legend like Lennox Lewis...
No. But just, Jimmy, just what happened in the rematch on both his losses?
He knocked them out.
He obliterated them because he was still the same person. I'm telling you, I can look at it, I can see it. And the thing about it is you got to understand, my boxing experience that I did is like a fucking water droplet in a swimming pool compared to people like Wilder, Fury, Joyce, etc. If I can see it with the limited experience that I have, what the fuck do you think the Sharks are looking at right now?
Yeah, but this is based off the worst version of Joshua, right? What I'm saying is, this is why I want to rebuild. This is why he should rebuild.
But he's not going to get rebuilt. Hearn is already trying to throw him in there with Fury.
Listen, if we're gonna talk about rebuilding, we should leave Wilder out of the conversation because
wait, Tony.
Let's just talk, Tony.
Wait.
I'm just saying, like,
talk, Lisa. It's not just talk, Lisa. Bob Arum did an interview today, and he said that they're looking at trying to make a fight with AJ in the summer. It's not just talk.
See, my thing is, I'm not sure if I believe them though, because they've been saying this for 3 years though.
I'm telling you, Eddie is trying to fucking cash out. That is the impression that I get. He is trying
Tony, question. Are you confident that the Fury fight happens next?
Who listens to Bob Arum? Did you hear him lying earlier? Talking about, what's his name? Oh, who was he talking about? About the fallout or whatever, the negotiations. He was lying his ass off.
You talking about the Fury Usyk negotiations?
Yeah, did you hear that video? It was on earlier. He was lying. He even had to do a pause, and I'm like, dude, you lying.
Well,
I just laughed.
Tony, question: Do you think that Fury takes that fight though with AJ next?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes. After you gotta understand, Fury.
Dude, the charlatan is a time waster.
No,
He's a time
AJ,
waster.
The dude is an opportunist. He's an opportunist. He, after what AJ just looked like, he would jump on him in a heartbeat because I'm telling you, he would jump on him in a heartbeat.
I mean, that's what he was trying to do in December.
That's true.
But then all of a sudden, deadline, you know.
Yep, he got deadlines when Derek Chisora did it. There's just more nonsense with him.
Weird.
That's all.
Weird.
Oh,
yeah, he's been quiet. Hold on. Fury's been quiet.
Hold on. Real fast while I'm thinking about it, AJ. What happened to your boy? What happened to your boy?
Who's my boy?
You already know who your boy is.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. I thought you said we was good.
No. I ain't never said you saw all this go away.
You said we even. You said we even. Then that's what you said? You said we was.
No, I never said that. Well, what's going on with your upper lip right now?
You said we was even in the comments. You said we was even.
What are you talking about?
You said we was even in the comments. Like I wrote, I owe you much. There he goes, oh no, that's cool. Enough facial hair is going. We even. That's cool.
No. Whenever I was talking about when you shave it off. Now we're even. We're 1-1.
Oh, that's okay. God, I thought you was calling off the bet. Okay, thanks for clarifying.
No.
All right.
Why would I call off the bet I won?
All right. Okay.
I was saying.
Your next
now that your upper lip is naked, we're even now.
Well, I didn't shave yet, but okay.
Well, when you do like I did, we're even.
All right. Okay. Next line.
Yeah, Tony looked like a newborn baby.
Next line that I jump on, I'll shave behind the camera. You'll see it. All right.
All right,
you got my word on that.
What's going on, there, man?
Hey,
Yo,
Danny,
what's going
man.
on? Hey, Lisa,
What's
what's going
going
on,
on?
everybody?
Nothing. I'm hanging in
Well,
there.
I hear you, sis. And look, Tony looking like Christopher Kid Reed back there, dog. It's
And he
all
looked
good.
like he 1 month old with that face,
Yeah,
man. Baby
yeah,
face.
yeah, looking like Kid and Play. Kid.
Hey,
Christopher
hold on
Reed.
one
It's all
second.
good.
Hold on one second, Dan. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna put
All right,
myself in the back so Big Sage Soul can get on.
all right,
After
Okay.
cool.
that. So I'm gonna
All
let
right,
you
cool.
on, Big.
All right, cool.
Yo,
Yeah,
shout out to
yeah.
Tony Reviews, bro. Yo, shout out to everybody in the panel, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. What's up,
What's
man?
up, man? You got that voice, boy.
Yeah.
Yo,
What
you
up? What
talking about
up?
Lisa?
That voice, that deep. Yeah, you
That
rapper.
that's
Yeah, that
150.
deep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
one bit.
150. Yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
got a
he's good, man.
radio voice for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, got that
150 is
voice for the
actually
radio.
no, this guy's
Yeah, I hear y'all
he's a
talking
musician.
about. Yeah, I heard Tony was talking about Joshua is going to be cashed out in his next fight. I mean, me personally, I don't see it like that. I hope they don't go that direction because I think Joshua still has a lot to offer. But at the same time, it's all up to him if he wants to continue. If he feels he has
Yeah.
enough fights left with him, it's
I
up to
mean,
him at the end of the day.
he is sending mixed messages saying that he's about the money and all that stuff, while still
Right.
thinking about chasing the glory. But I hear a lot of people saying like, "Yo, should he retire? Should he do this?" And like, you gotta understand, Joshua, out of all the three heavyweight notables, excluding Usyk, who just got here, Joshua's the youngest man, and he's the one that makes the most money out of all of them. So I don't know how you're gonna turn away from a moneymaker like Joshua, and then who are you gonna have after that? Because Wilder is like floundering with his career. Fury is lollygagging with his career, and who knows where we at with the heavyweights and the upper comers? What they're gonna be at in a
Very
couple
interesting.
years.
Well, let
Very
me
Huh?
just say
interesting.
this. Yeah,
Just to
let me
play
just say
devil's
this. Yeah, let me just say this though. Let me just say something, Jimmy, before you get in, man. Let me just say this.
Hmm.
Yes, if Joshua leaves, you'll see some, you'll see a decline in, of revenue. We all won't disagree with that part. But what I will say this though, boxing will live on. Boxing is bigger than one man. Will the heavyweight
Hmm.
division miss Anthony Joshua? Should he retire? Of course it will. So,
Yeah.
it will miss him. But at the end of the day, like it goes back to my initial point. The man's made a lot of money as it is already. Let's be honest, he was rushed way too early. He was underdeveloped, but you got to give credit where credit is due. The man did everything on his own. He kind of figured it out on the job. Do a lot of pressure. He was able to come through it. But, at the same time, you do, along with that pressure, you do face criticism. You do face, you're not going to please everyone. So at the end of the day, look, the man's made a lot of money. He still has his health intact. He's probably thinking in the back of his mind right now, psychologically, like, you know what? I've had a lot of, in my short career, I had a lot of tough fights. Hell, he's had a lot of tough fights in his short amateur career. He faced a lot of tough, experienced amateurs like Camarillo, guys like Nestor too, who Usyk stopped, and Nestor stopped Joshua coincidentally, but
Hmm.
he, at the same time, he's thinking to himself like, well, what do I need to do this for, man? I made a lot of money that I am financially secure. I have generational wealth. My family is taken care of. I have my health intact. Why do
Yeah.
I need to keep doing this forever? I mean, it begs a question: will he stay around long enough to give those upcoming fighters a shot, like the Jared Andersons, the Martin Bacolis, the Joe Joyces, the Phil Herkoviches, Julie Zhang, uh, McNabaugh? Who else is there? I mean, if he wants Andy Ruiz third fight, that could still be around. If he's entertaining that, but at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know if Eddie Hearn's going to cash him out, but the way they're talking about they want the Fury fight, maybe they're serious about it. I don't know, but it's Fury serious because can we trust him because he blew off the Usyk fight, and this is the fourth time in a row he disrupted the undisputed fight in 2 years, 3 years. So, and he went dark because of the screw up he did with the Usyk fight. So, I digress. But anyways,
Hmm.
I think
yeah,
Wilder
Fury
and
got a
Fury.
baby on the way, so I don't know what's going on. But
I
that
hate to
that
say
But
shouldn't
this, but who
stop
Lisa,
him.
cares?
Lisa,
I, I had to say this, but who
Lisa,
cares?
Lisa, you might have just answered the $50 million question as to why is Fury acting so hormonal? And it's because he has a kid on the way, man. And I feel like, you know what? If that was his idea to try to dress up all that, with this all this call outs, fake call outs, and all this training montages, like, oh, I'm ready for you, Usyk, all this and that. All right, fine, but don't string us along, with your bullshit. You know,
See,
we just want to watch the fights.
But
Well, here's
that's
the
what
thing about
Fury
Tyson
do.
Fury.
He's a
He's scared.
troll. Go
Well,
ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
I was going to say this real quickly. Yeah, here's the thing about Tyson Fury. If you're about the money, just say you're about the money. Don't sit here and lie and tell us you're a fighting man for nearly a decade. You fight this
Right.
guy and that guy, and yet you ducked so many fights going all the way back to your domestic days with the David Price fight. That's where it all began. And then you got out of the Usmanov fight. I know you can say that was a family situation, but I don't know. I hate to say this, but I have a hard time believing that. And then you ducked the Pulev fight. Yeah, I understand why you did that because you want to fight David Hay, who pulled out on you twice. And you ducked the Klitschko rematch. You didn't give Wilder his immediate rematch after the first fight. You made him wait for more than a year. Now you ducked out of the AJ fight a few times. You ducked out of the Usyk fight with the 3 times in the last year or so. So it gets to a point now that people are just fed up with you, Tyson Fury. You can't get away with this anymore. So that's where it's like it's a sad situation because here's a man who had a good comeback story that you could tell going through his whole situation with the Nangelo scandal with with UCAD. You had a good comeback story. You came back, you became world champion again against all odds, and then next excuse my language, you fuck it all up by playing around like you're the heavyweight Floyd Mayweather.
So I'm gonna say this real fast.
See, okay, when you
and then
finish.
Jimmy, I'll let you back on in just a second. Here's the thing. I don't believe AJ was rushed at all because you have,
Okay.
if he's going to be an all-time great, you have to put him against his other peers from the past. Ali was a world champion by the time he was 22. Mike Tyson did it at 20. He was undisputed by the time he was 21. So I don't believe AJ was rushed at all. I don't believe in that. Moving past that, as far as Tyson Fury goes, I get it. People don't like Tyson Fury. I get it. His track record is bad. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, to be the controversial one, I think to myself, it was Frank Warren that was begging Usyk's manager to get the fight to happen. It was Usyk that pulled out of the fight. It was Usyk, now it's been revealed, that was saying that if he won the first fight, Tyson Fury would have to do 70-30 in the rematch.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
So hold on. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of stipulations that the Usyk side was doing that nobody likes to talk about. That he didn't really accept 70-30 because on the back end he was going to do 70-30 on Fury. It's also Fury was like, F it, let's not even do a rematch and we can just get it one and done. And it was Usyk it was Usyk that demanded a rematch that allegedly he didn't even want in the first place. But now all of a sudden he's demanding the rematch. So my thing is this. Is Tyson Fury innocent of the fight not happening? No. Is he to blame? Yes. But let's not act like Usyk doesn't share the blame with him just as much as Fury does. That's all I'm saying. He's the one that pulled out, not Fury. I'm going to let you.
Well, let me say this. Well, yeah, let me say this, Tony. You let Jimmy back on, but I'm gonna respond. If somebody you keep coming after me.
Man.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Can you say Usyk technically pulled out? Yes, but you can't blame him from that, and let me tell you why. It was Fury, Frank Warren out of his own mouth, and it's quoted that after Usyk beat Joshua the second time, Frank Warren out of his own mouth came out and said that this is an easy fight to make, 50-50 on the contingent that would take this fight to London. Okay, cool.
Boom.
That was their word. Second time around, we had the negotiation in Saudi. What happened after that? Usyk accepted this deal. 2 months prior to we found out that Bob Arum confirmed to the point that Usyk and the team already accepted the deal. 1 month in. Why did it take Tyson Fury so long to try to accept the deal that they offer him? Next thing you know, 2 weeks later, he pulls out of the Saudi deal. He turns it down, which forced the fight to come to London. Usyk's team said, okay, cool, 50-50 as we initially agreed. What did Tyson Fury do? Move the goalposts. He doesn't want to do 50-50. He wants to do 60-40. Usyk says, okay, cool, 60-40 to the winner. And Fury says, no. Okay, 70-30. And Usyk says, okay, cool. On the condition that you donate 5% of your purse It's surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but Fury didn't even agree to that. But Usyk says, "Okay, cool. If you don't want to agree to my 5%, $1 million donation, then what you can do is that if we'll do the rematch. If I beat you, I get to get the split reversal." Fury didn't want to do that either. It was Fury's team who decided that they wanted to do the rematch, not Usyk. They put that in there. Now all of a sudden, Fury's the one talking about that I'm the one, you're the one who want the rematch clause. So that's not on Usyk. It was Team Fury that decided they wanted the rematch clause, and it was Fury who wanted to take it out all of a sudden. Now, I think Tyson Fury is probably pissed off about that because his team didn't communicate that with him that there was a rematch clause that they wanted. So that made him look stupid. Okay. So then next thing you know, Tyson Fury comes out and says, "I'm not agreeing to the split reversal," which is he's being a hypocrite because he agreed to a split reversal with the Wilder fight. Should he have lost that Wilder fight, the Wilder second fight that is, he would have to take the 40% split, which he agreed to. Should he have lost? Why could he do that with Usyk? And why did he decide to move the goalposts again and say that if I beat you, if I lose to you, I get 50-50, but if I beat you, I take 80%, you take 20. What do you? How can you blame Usyk for walking away from that? Because he's conceded so many things that Tyson Fury did not want to concede with this man. He's given up 8 things that I've lost count. He gave up the Saudi, he gave up the fact that he couldn't get the fight in Saudi, which he agreed to. So he's like, okay, cool, move to London, 50-50 as we agreed. Fury didn't want to do that. Okay, cool, 60-40 to the winner. Fury didn't want to do that. Okay, fine, 70-30, fine. But if I beat you, then I get the split reversal. Fury didn't want to do that. So what else is he supposed to do in that situation? What else is he supposed to do?
Dan the man, could I say something? Let me just say something. You know what else I heard Fury say? It was wow. He said the heavyweight champion should be either an American or a Brit.
Oh yeah, I
heard him say that, and I was like, wow.
He
was being low key with it. He was being low key.
Yeah,
Dan the man, you just broke it down so perfectly. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better myself. And with all that, could we just honestly agree that Fury never won this fight from day one?
Of course, he never won that fight. That dude was talking about Usyk.
This is my
he was saying Usyk was an unknown European in 2021. He said nobody wants to see me fight him.
Call him a middleweight.
Middleweight.
No. Hold on. Here's my problem with all of this. This is the biggest problem that people cannot separate. They do not want to separate this. They do not want to acknowledge this. They do not want to come around to this. And the fact of it is this. When it's A and B side, the belts, the accolades mean nothing. It's the business. It's the asses and seats. It's the pay-per-views you can sell. Case in point, when Manny fought Ugas was the champion. Who got more money? Manny. He got all the money. Ugas got nothing to fight him. What makes Usyk believe that he deserves a big share of the pie when the dude on his own at cruiserweight sold nothing? He did nothing at cruiserweight.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm not done. Against Chaz Witherspoon, his numbers did nothing. Against Derek Chisora brought all the people to the fight. His numbers were minimal adding to that fight. Against AJ, it was AJ that brought all the numbers to the fight. What business does Usyk bring? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to find out how big of a star, just like I told another channel about AJ. Watch his next fight. He's not going to do the same amount of tickets because of how volatile boxing is with losses. And sure enough, he struggled to sell 20,000 tickets. AJ, the biggest star in boxing outside of Canelo. Arguably bigger, maybe not, but he struggled to sell 20,000 when this dude sells no less than 60,000 in open seat arenas, okay? Now, let's see what Usyk does against Triple D and his ticket sales, because I guarantee you it's not going to be good.
Well, all right, I'm going to respond to that real quickly. First things first, Ordena's Ugas never headlined a show or let alone a pay-per-view unlike Usyk did before he fought Joshua. That's number one. Number two, the last time I checked, Usyk did better pay-per-view numbers when he fought Chisora better than what Fury did when he fought Chisora. Let's take that into account. Now, when I checked, he did over 1 million buys when he fought Chisora. What did
Nah,
Fury
he
do when
didn't.
he fought Chisora?
Nah, he
So
didn't lower him any
that's
guard.
case
Nah,
in point on
nah,
that one. All right. And let's
no,
talk
nah, he
about the
didn't do it.
one. Yeah,
No, he didn't do it
let's
with any
talk about
guards.
this. Right. Let me talk about the show in Chicago that Tony likes to point out. Yes, it was not a pay-per-view event, but guess what? They sold out that venue because Usyk was the star attraction for that show. Take a look at the numbers. They sold out that what you call it, what's it called, that small arena in Chicago, the SunTrust Arena,
No, it
wherever you
isn't.
call it.
Look, Usyk star power. Look, Usyk
Yeah,
star power isn't relevant because I'm making a point right now. Fury's own promoter came out and said the biggest fight in the sport
Yo,
right now is Fury versus Usyk, right?
yeah,
Okay, so when he fought Deontay Wilder, right, a guy that was struggling to sell 5,000 tickets in Alabama, right, who just did 70,000 buys on pay-per-view. I'm talking about gutter shit numbers, right? He gave that dude 50-50 in the trilogy, right? Sorry, in the rematch,
yeah.
right? When he fought for the
Right.
second time, gave him 50-50. In the third fight, when Wilder was on the border of irrelevance, right? We just saw his last numbers, right? We're talking about dog shit, embarrassing. The dude's a borderline undercard fighter now, Deontay Wilder, right? If you look going by those last numbers, right? And you still gave him, what, 60-40? If you gave Deontay Wilder 40% in the third fight, when the whole boxing world was on their knees begging you, don't give us this fucking garbage again, bro. No one wants to see Wilder Fury 3 again. You gave the dude 40%.
Yeah, but
And that was in
Jimmy,
the
you
third
gotta
fight, bro.
understand, Wilder gave him a chance though.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
Since
can't give
they did have a
no.
legally
No,
binding
can
rematch
I land my
clause. I
plane?
get what you're saying.
Dynamite, come on, bro.
Yeah,
You've been talking for 10 minutes. Can I just land my plane
yeah.
real quick?
I hear you. I just wanted to point that out, but go ahead.
Okay, so this is
Go
my
ahead.
point,
Go
right?
ahead.
So as far as Wilder gave him an opportunity, 100% no. Wilder could have fought Joshua for more money for all the belts, and he confirmed that on Twitter. So I don't give Wilder that pass at all. He fought Fury because no one gave a fuck about Deontay Wilder. He wanted to cherry pick Fury, knock out a crackhead coming off a 4-year layoff, to kind of get the same clout AJ was having at that time. Cherry picking gone
boom.
wrong, and now he's basically done as a fighter. My thing's with Fury though.
Well,
I'm putting this on Fury right now. If you
of
gave
course.
Wilder 40%, a dude that had no belt, had just been knocked out cold, right? Oh, sorry, in the rematch, beat into a bloody pulp, was borderline irrelevant. Why won't you give Usyk at least that same respect as Wilder? Again, a guy that's struggling to be an undercard fighter now. 5,000 fans, 70,000 pay-per-views. Put that motherfucker on the undercard. He's fucking done. And
Hey,
before that, that
Jimmy,
dude couldn't even sell out Alabama.
Jimmy,
Deontay Wilder was never a
Jimmy,
factor. His claim to
Jimmy.
fame is dick riding Anthony Joshua's shadow, and that got him really far. But as a
Yo,
star,
Oof.
Wilder has
hold
never
on.
been a factor.
Hold on,
Well, to
Jimmy.
be
I
fair,
want you
Wilder
to
did
realize.
about
Hold on,
12,000,
Dan. Hold on,
13,000.
Dan.
Bars.
Dan.
Go ahead.
Dan, hold on.
All
Jimmy,
right.
I want you to realize that inadvertently you just proved how big of a star Tyson Fury actually is, okay? A guy who was struggling to sell 5,000 tickets in his home state of Alabama, right? All combined, all three fights averaged out did over 1 million pay-per-view buys between Wilder and
All three,
Fury.
yeah.
They also broke the Las Vegas ticket sale numbers. Now, that was a guy
That's
who
true.
couldn't even move tickets that fought Fury. That's how big of a star Fury is. Fury fights Dillian White and breaks the England, the UK ticket sale numbers, 94,000. So he beat the old record, which was held by AJ, by 14,000 ticket sales. The fact of the matter is this: Usyk does not compare to
Yeah, but Tony, you
Fury
made my
when it
point though.
comes to money. It just is
No, but you made my point
non-comparable.
though.
I think
Why
that's
give a paper
self-imposed.
champion like
That's
Wilder
perceived.
all this hype? Why give him 50-50? Because we know Wilder ain't shit. So why not hold Usyk at least to half of that standard,
He
right?
gave Wilder and him was 50-50 because he had 2 tune-ups and he was coming back from being 8,000 pounds. That's why. Because he wasn't the reigning champion that beat Klitschko. He was the fat guy who was chasing ice cream trucks. That's why it was 50-50.
Well, let's just say this, Tony. Let's be real. You want to talk about cherry picking? Wilder and Fury, in my opinion, cherry picked each other. Because why do you think Fury agreed to that split reversal when he first fought him? Because he knew he could beat him. That's why he agreed to it. Why does he want to agree to it with Usyk? Yeah, because he knows.
Well, I mean,
Oh, so go ahead. Go ahead.
He did
Go
sell
ahead.
he did do those numbers with Dylan White, but Dylan White helped him sell that fight, not just by himself.
Yeah, it takes two to tango, as you want to call it. You need that dance partner, because as I recall, Tyson Fury couldn't even do nowhere near that number when he fought Ottawa Lean in shorts.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. Time out. Pause. I like Dillian White. People say I'm one of Dillian White's biggest fans, but let's be honest. Dillian didn't help himself shit. Dillian didn't show up to one press conference. He didn't do one photo shoot. He did nothing. They had to Photoshop Dillian's white picture from another fight poster and put it against Fury because he didn't show up for that shit. So let's not
No, he
pretend
came to the
that
final.
Dillian White saw that fight when he didn't even show up to anything but the weigh-in. No, I'm sorry. I disagree. Then
No,
Chisora,
he came to the
when
final.
hold on, Jimmy. When Usyk fought Chisora, he was looked at more legitimate. They did 50,000 tickets. When Fury fought Chisora, nobody wanted to see it. That's the difference. Nobody wanted to see him fight Chisora. He already beat him twice. We don't want to see a third one. But
I
yet
have a theory.
Hold on. But yet he still sold 60,000 tickets when
No, I
nobody
agree with
wanted
you,
to see the
Tony.
fight.
He's the A side. No, Tony, I agree with you, bro. He is the A side undoubtedly, but I think there's a degree, though, right? After a certain point, it becomes disrespectful. You're basically giving him the same 30% that a regular WBC contender would get, like a Dylan White. You're giving him less money than a one belt, arguably hype job in Deontay Wilder, who's, I mean, seriously, put that dude in the undercard, he's cooked. So I mean, there has to be some room, right? Unquestionably, I agree with you a million percent.
I just have a theory. Okay, if Fury and White sold out the Wembley, right? Would have had the same results if it would have been Fury versus Mahmoud Char.
Can I say something about this? Let's just
Thank
be
you.
honest. Let me just say this though. The reason why Fury and Tony, you do have a point to some extent, but I think the reason why that event did well because it was years since Fury fought in UK. That's number one. Number two, he was coming off that third Wilder win, which we all agreed that nobody was clamoring for, but it turned out to be probably arguably the fight of the year, one of the best heavyweight fights we've seen. So coming off that momentum. Plus, you fight Dillian White, which is a worthy opponent. Of course, that was going to do well based off that alone, those factors alone. But I will say this though. We were talking about the WBA. Usyk has to fight Dubois, right? Don't be surprised about this little alpha card because Dubois has an Achilles heels problem right now, so he may not be able to make it to the fight. So if he can't make it to the fight, guess he'll be elevated to the mandatory status.
Wilder.
Yep.
And
Him.
Wilder is gonna knock Usyk the fuck out.
I don't know
No, he's
about that. Nah,
No, he's not. No, he won't.
no, he won't. And I'm a Wilder.
AJ,
Hey, hold up.
you can
I'm a
lose
Wilder
this.
fan, but
You
nah,
can
bro.
lose this.
Nah.
No, it'll be Manuel Char. It'll be Manuel Char. Manuel
He's
Char.
not even ranked. He ain't even ranked, bro.
Hey, Tony, you want to make another bet?
Oh, Fury is probably if Hearn is trying to catch out, he'll fight AJ in the summer. That's a fight that I know right now. Fury is.
Well, let me just say this: if they do really make that fight, and I like Anthony Joshua, but I don't like his chances, man. I don't like it.
But is it
I really
hold on. I
don't.
want to ask Tony this question. Is it really a cash out though? This is Fury versus Joshua is probably the biggest box office fight in the world right now. I don't think anything comes close to it as far as media, fan interest, buzz, and revenue. In my
Yes,
opinion, at least.
it's a cash out, Jimmy. It's a cash out because at this point in time, he stands no chance at winning. That's the problem. If
he wins, though,
if the AJ showed up against Jermaine Franklin, it's going to be so one-sided. It's a cash out. The only way it's not a cash out is if AJ stands a chance to win. And at this point in time, we can. I hope, maybe not. People may disagree, but I would think that we would all come to the same consensus that AJ needs at least another fight with Devin before he gets in there.
I'm sorry, but who's doing plumbing?
This is what I'm saying, though. Tony, imagine this: AJ goes in there and beats Fury.
My
He's
bad,
the king
sorry.
of the world again. He's the king of the world, though. That's my thing, though, Tony. If he goes in there and beats Fury, he's king of the world. He's the WBC heavyweight world champion, and it's probably the biggest money fight in all of combat sports. So I don't know if it's a cash out, bro. Like, for me.
Yeah, but Jimmy, there's the flip side to the coin. If he goes in there and gets embarrassed against Fury, then what?
Well,
I mean, bro, he got embarrassed by Ruiz and Usyk, and he's still here. So I mean, is losing to Fury any worse than losing to Andy?
I mean,
Ruiz?
doesn't
Yes, it
AJ
would
get
be
the same
way
privilege
worse.
as Wilder getting extra cracks at it?
yeah, I mean, look, and let me just say this. This is why I say Anthony Joshua deserves some confident building fights. I'm not against that because I think he needs to take the pressure off himself for a while to build his confidence again. I don't think he should be rushing back into a top 10 level fight with the guys like Tyson Fury or Joe Joyce or Deontay Wilder at this moment. I think he needs a couple more confidence building fights and then get into a top 10 fight next year. That's what I believe in. But going back to the cash out question, I have to ask Jimmy this question. When Floyd fought Manny Pacquiao, wasn't Floyd cashing out then when he fought him?
No,
I think it was two
no,
older
they
dudes.
both did huge numbers when they fought. They were both
But
fucking.
they did huge numbers, but
The
was
fight
Floyd
sucked. The
cashing
fight
out?
sucked though. The fight sucked though.
Yeah,
So
it sure did. But Floyd cashed out though, right?
yes,
Floyd cashed out though, right?
No,
Yeah,
no,
he cashed
nobody.
out.
No,
Yeah, that
no,
was a
no, no,
cash
no,
out.
no,
That
no,
was
no.
towards the end of his career.
Dan. Nobody cashed out in that fight. Not Manny, not Floyd. A cash
What?
out fight. No, listen. When you cash out, when you're cashing somebody out, you know that this is the last fight they have that is going to be of any consequence. So you're throwing them in something where they're going to lose, so you can get as much money from them as possible. You already see the end coming, so you're cashing out before they hit the wall. That's what cashing out is. When Manny fought Floyd, people still believe that Manny had a shot. I never did. I thought Floyd was going to do exactly what he did and make it look just like he did. But
Yeah.
people still believe Manny was going to knock him out. So there was no cash out there. It was a true 50-50 fight.
Well, but Tony, the fight afterwards was Andre Berto. So as far
Yeah.
as Floyd's professional career, that would be considered he cashed out. He waited
No,
till
no. Because
Wait, yeah, he did, man.
hold on. No. Because he had another mega fight against Conor
this is
McGregor after that.
Well,
yeah, I
wait,
get that, but no, we talking
That's called taxes,
semantics
bro.
now.
He had to come
Who
back because of
counts
taxes.
that? Who counts
You
that?
can't count. You can't count
But
Conor
Lisa,
McGregor, man.
you
That's a
just
taxes
said,
fight.
hold on. Lisa, you just said he cashed out with Manny because of the money. Then he fought Berto. But no, because he had another mega fight where he made a shit ton of money, and that was against
Exhibition.
McGregor.
Of course, but but
He
come
was
on,
broke.
that shouldn't have even been sanctioned
that's an
as a
exhibition, Tony. That
50th
was an
fight
exhibition.
with a complete novice as a boxer coming in there with
Lisa,
arguably one of the
Lisa.
greatest fighters of all time.
It's
Okay.
about to
Yeah, that
happen
was.
again.
Come on,
It's
man. That was a high level
semantics.
Again.
exhibition
Hold on. The same thing's about to happen again because Francis Ngannou's going to fight Fury. He's going to fight AJ, and he's going to fight
Oh,
Wilder. It's about to happen again because he's going to fight one of them three.
Lord. Well, let me just say
You know
this.
what?
It's a
It's
high level
possible. You know
exhibition.
why? I think the Endeavor and WWE merger with fucking UFC, I think there's something to it, man. I think they're going to
Yeah.
make, and because, Frank Warren does business with BT, which is also a UFC and WWE partner, broadcast partner. You never know. They could sell that fight on BT.
Well, I mean, me
Oh, Frank
personally, I'm
Warren
not
is
a
doing
fan.
business? Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead. You could
No, I
you
didn't
go.
know Frank Warren had a deal with the WWE. Wow.
No, he never
Well,
did. He just
no,
had
no,
a deal
no,
with
it
BT.
doesn't. What I meant to say is that, because Fury does, been seen in WWE programming, I'm saying that's possible. Stranger
BT
things have
Sports, yeah.
happened. So you can see a freak show fight like that. And Ngannou versus
Oh,
Fury,
okay.
yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
BT Sport do have, I think, the exclusive UK rights to WWE and UFC in the UK.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, hey, I see a hot flow in the comments. He says that Usyk has an uphill battle against Wilder. You know what, man? Let me just say this. I'm a
Mhm.
Deontay Wilder fan, but I disagree with that. I just think Usyk is just too good of a fighter. He's seen too many different styles. He can switch it up. I mean, seriously, he has different gears to every opponent, which is very difficult to figure out. And that's why people
Yeah.
get frustrated to fight the guy. And I say it's scary because I'm not saying it's scary that he can knock you out. It's scary because he doesn't allow you to reset and he gives you different angles and you don't know where he's punching from. And that's what makes him so difficult to figure out. And it's tiring.
Bro, Wilder versus
So
Mhm.
Usyk is a mismatch, bro. I mean, if Spilka outboxed you for 9 rounds, I mean, Jesus Christ, Spilka, a guy who just fixed my busted toilet last night, you've got no business in there with Usyk, bro. Come on. And he doesn't deserve a shot at the unified heavyweight title. He was put to sleep in his last 2 fights.
Wait,
Like,
what?
come on,
well,
that's
I'll
not
just
a
say
fair
this.
fight.
Let me just say this.
This is what I know. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I know when it comes to Wilder and Usyk. And I'm about to have to end the stream here because I got to take a shower to go to bed. But check this out. And I'm going to let everybody say their last thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to say anything after y'all say y'all's last thoughts. But I'm going to say this right now. I watched Chaz Witherspoon, who was selling hot dogs at a used car lot, catch Usyk in the face with more than one straight. I watched Derek Chisora. I watched Derek Chisora for the first 5 rounds hit Usyk more times than AJ. I watched AJ hit Usyk in the face with straight right hands, both fights. If you think Wilder's not going to connect against Usyk, you're crazy. Wilder is faster on the draw than both of them. Is he technically as good as AJ? No. Is he technically as good as Chisora? It's arguable that he's not. Is he better than Chaz Witherspoon? Yes. If you think Usyk's not going to get caught by the guy who probably throws the fastest right hand in the heavyweight division, you're very naive. I'm telling you, he's going to get hit. And when he does, them lights are going to turn the fuck off. I don't care if he outboxes him for 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 7 rounds, 8 rounds. He's going to get hit. And when he does, them toes are going to be pointed up at the lights. And it's going to be
You don't know that though.
Oh, I want to
Let
see
me just
it.
say this.
Fuck
Let me just say
Daniel
this,
Bryan.
man.
I want to see it next. Fuck
The
Daniel
guy,
Yeah.
the Wilder that was crying. Listen, let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna head out. The Wilder that was crying about Richard Colon after this guy after fighting his fucking sparring partner. Listen, he don't want to meet Dark Femi. Femi looks like he about to snap, bro. I feel like if they were in the room, I think literally Joshua would break his fucking neck. There's something about him that's fucking crazy, bro. I'm just gonna say that, man. Like if they were to fight, I think that would probably ignite blood in his fucking in Joshua's arm, for real.
No, you know
And that's
what?
all I got to say, man. Peace out,
Fair
gentlemen.
enough, peace out, virtual.
Peace, Virtuoso. Peace.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, look, he could have broke Lomachenko's neck based off the conversation they had, but he didn't do that. Joshua, that is. But anyhow, look, man, me personally, would I like to see Wilder versus Usyk? Yeah, but I don't think Wilder deserves that shot. I think he needs to fight Ruiz first. If he can beat Ruiz, then I could say, okay, he's worthy of a title shot against either Wilder. I mean, against Usyk. Okay, maybe Tyson Fury. Who knows? Who wants to see a fourth fight again? I don't know, but other than that, I just think he needs to wait his turn before he gets a crack at Usyk. But the WBA has him ranked. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but like I say, man, like I said, Tony, I disagree with the fact that you believe Usyk was the reason why, rightfully blamed for why the fight didn't happen with him and Fury. Come on, dude, you know better than that, Tony. That's all I gotta say.
Right quick on that note,
Yeah.
I'm gonna peace out too, gentlemen, like Lisa. Y'all take
All
it
right,
easy.
peace, AJ.
Eat
Take it
dinner,
easy.
so
Have a
I'm
good
just
night.
picking out right now. And Tony, I got you
Oh,
next
okay.
But Tony, in your defense, I would rather see Wilder or Usyk than the Wild Usyk. So hopefully it happens.
Yeah, nobody
agree.
wants to see.
The next time I go live, I'll see your upper lip, AJ.
Well, let me ask you this, Tony. Who do you think AJ? Let me ask y'all this before y'all go. I'm about to head out too, but who y'all think AJ's gonna fight now? Honestly, who y'all think? What do y'all think?
If not Fury, it's gonna be Dillian White.
Dillian White.
Dillian. I think that's where the direction they're going to have to go. But then again, I think the zone is going to make the final call on that. So we'll have to see what they want. But other than that, hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Hold on, Dan. Don't leave, Dan. Don't leave.
All right, I will leave.
Take care, Dan, man.
Lisa,
Yes.
All right, Lisa.
Say your piece. I'm gonna remove myself. Dan, you close out the show. Let them know where they can find you. As soon as Lisa's done talking, and then we'll end it there.
All right, sounds good, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. Tony's reviews was a good chat, and see you on the next one.
All right, sister. See you again on the next one.
See you again.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out here. I just want to say thanks for Tony Reviews for having me on. Thanks to the panel, AJ Virtuoso, Jimmy, Lisa the sister, as always. Lisa Bells, that is. But you guys can check me out if you want to find me in Dan the Man Box. I have my own channel. I do my lives sporadically. What I mean by sporadically, I'm not there as much, but I'll try to come on there and give you my thoughts and insights whenever I can. Other than that, it was a great conversation, and I really, truly respect that. Other than that, I'm out. Peace.